when they told me who was going to be there, I was like, I got to be there, of course. Kellen Winslow, starting with him, I mean, that's somebody that I looked up to when I first got into the league. Then the rest of the guys, Shannon, Antonio, Ben. I want to have some fun, first and foremost. I mean, it's like being back in the locker room.
Things have changed, but they're still the same.
We all know that the tight end is the best position on the football field. You get the block, you get the catch, you get to do it all.
If you leave now, you get a head start on traffic.
We all had such great careers, played for a long time, so it's going to be fun to be around the guys, trade some stories, and have a good time. All right, boys, we're here, 100-year anniversary, celebrating the NFL, and I couldn't think of a better table to be at.
He's been playing for like 50 of those years.
Yeah, and he's been there for a long time.
Let's kick it off.
We should kick it off.
I see where he's going.
Okay, who's the
Ben
greatest?
Watson, I'm Shannon Sharpe, Tony Gonzalez, newly elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate
Antonio
it.
Gates, great LA Charger now, once San Diego Charger, following this man's footsteps, who really got it started. He and Ozzie Newsome, what we call the receiving tight ends, or what we see today, the Travis Kelce, the Rob Gronkowski, who recently retired. Kellen, take us back to when you came into the league and how the tight end position was used when you got to the league in the late 70s.
Well, we were still using black and white film.
Projector.
We had just got projector. We're still using the projector. We had just got face masks. What really started it all was Don Coryell. Mm-hmm. They drafted me in the first round in '79.
San Diego's selection. Kellen Winslow, tight end, Missouri.
On that staff was Joe Gibbs. They were trying to figure out how do we get this rookie we got from the University of Missouri who was just learning the game of football. So they decided to take out the fullback.
Right.
Put in the tight end, second tight end. And little did I know, it just changed the entire way football is played.
I'm over the middle. He's got his wingman. Winslow, touchdown. What a great effort by Winslow.
Did you know then, when you were doing what you were doing, that you were going to change the game, that you were going to revolutionize the game at that position?
No idea. No idea. And it wasn't me. If I got drafted by Chicago, who passed me twice, right, I'm not bitter. If I'd have gone to Buffalo, who passed me twice, I've forgiven them for that. Thank you. If I'd have gone to one of those teams, you wouldn't have heard of Kellen Winslow.
Right.
It's the innovation that those coaches said, okay, we've got a guy here. We got to get him on the field.
Right.
How do we do that? Let's do something different.
You know what, Kellen, it's funny that you say that, because when I got drafted in 1990, I went to one of the three teams that had the H-back position. The Broncos had it, the Redskins had it, and the Chargers had it.
Yep.
And I remember Steve Antonopoulos, who was our athletic trainer, he said Dan wanted to see me after the meetings. So I go up to Dan's room and he says, well, we're thinking about moving you. What do you think about playing tight end? I'm thinking to myself, I said, hell, I'm struggling learning wide receiver plays.
You said, am I going to get the ball?
Well, at that time, I just wanted to play. I was just trying to get on the field, because at that point, I'm a special teams. I'm a gunner. You know, I'm going to kick off, kick return. So I'm just trying to get the ball. And Wade Phillips is our defensive coordinator. And so I'm killing the linebacker to practice. I catch him, throw it up, and throw the ball in the woods. I kick it. He blows the whistle one day. He says, Dan, put his ass in the game and let's see if they can cover him, because we can't. That's kind of how my career started.
Elway pressured, steps up, Sharpe, end zone, touchdown, Denver!
Well, if I don't go to one of the three teams that have the H-back position, who knows if we're having this conversation or I'm even sitting at this table?
I doubt it. You guys, you guys are so great.
No, you got to go to the right situation.
You got to go to the right situation.
Tony, you were a glorified tackle. You really were. Everything was run the ball, run the ball.
Yeah, you was only throwing on third down.
Now the game is we're going to throw first, second, third down. I think we all owe Don Coryell something.
Thank you.
Because he really changed the whole bit.
So when I first came in, I went to the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, and I think the year before I got there, combined catches for the tight ends was 13.
Yeah,
13 catches, that's it.
So they had a good year.
Yeah, that was a good. So I was like, well, I'm probably not going to get the ball.
Marty wasn't trying to throw the ball.
But I'm saying that I know for sure. You guys are athletic. I used to watch you guys coming up. Gunther Cunningham.
Gunther Cunningham.
So Gunther Cunningham was
my guy.
He was our defensive coordinator.
Yep.
When I got there as a rookie, and I would run routes, and he's like, hey, Tone. you remind me of Kellen Winslow. And I was like, really? You know, because I knew all about you. And so he actually went out and got me some tape.
Yep.
And I don't know if I ever told you this. I used to watch your cut-ups.
You got the cut-ups,
seeing how you ran routes and how you did it all. But you saw what happened. I mean, I got there, 13 catches. I didn't catch that many balls my rookie year. I caught 33 my rookie year, 59 my second year, and then just exploded.
Lofts a corner, penalty, wants Gonzalez, who reaches up, touchdown! Why not look for number 88 every time?
He was not in a situation where they had an all-time great tight end. I wasn't in a situation. Ben, you didn't really follow a situation where they had all-time great tight ends. To go to the Chargers, and you know what the tight end position represents at that locale, how difficult was it to find your own niche? Like, okay, I'm Antonio Gates. I don't need to be Kellen Winslow. Was that difficult? Was that a seamless transition because you were a basketball player?
Right. I think for me, it was the idea of not really having a true understanding. So I didn't worry about much. When I would see guys come in from these big programs, they always have habits already developed.
Right.
I was just raw. So I didn't have no bad. It was like having no credit and bad credit. You know what I'm saying? So I was blank. I was just playing. You know, when I had made all these accomplishments, they started bringing up names, people I had never even heard of. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what helped me continue to, you know, grow. I stayed focused. I had tunnel vision. I stayed working on my craft because I had no reasoning to worry about what Kellen had to do or what, even beforehand. We had a guy named Steve Alexander. I was following his footsteps. So I was learning through him, and then he got hurt. Training camp. So then when they decided to play me, I'm just thinking, Marty Schottenheimer lost his mind. You know what I'm saying? I ain't played football since I was a kid. So, you know what I mean? I remember vividly my first game going against the Raiders, and I'm out there, and, you know, Rod Woodson, I think, was the safety. And they called a play slide. I got a corner route, and it's man coverage. I'm looking like, that's Rod Woodson. I played Tecmo Bowl, all type of games. I know you ain't about to throw me the ball against him. You know what I'm saying? So I end up catching the first down. Ultimately, it clicked. I belong out here. You know what I mean? I can play with these guys.
End zone for Gates, leaping. Touchdown! Once again, it's Rivers to Gates. We'll say that a lot of times.
Mine was totally different. So you mentioned the H-back, and when I came into New England in 2004, that's what I was supposed to be. Supposed to be the H-back. We had a guy by the name of Daniel Graham. You know, Daniel Graham ended up leaving and becoming the highest paid tight end as a blocker. You know, he was making, I don't know how much it was, but we were joking that he was making $1 million for every catch. But it showed me the emphasis and the importance of being able to block, because I wanted to go out and just catch passes. But I realized you're not going to play in that offense if you can't block. It depends on where you go. But athleticism will always rise to the top. If you're a player, one thing I realized in this league in 15 years is that you're going to rise to the top. You're going to be a guy that can be counted on. You're going to be a guy that plays. But there are a lot of other circumstances around you, people around you, coaches around you, injuries around you that give you the opportunity to be where you are.
Throws back corner of the end zone. Ben Watson. Touchdown! Ben Watson!
We about to get lit. We about to get lit.
When you came into the league, if you caught 25, 30 passes, that was a heck of a season for a tight end. But you see the evolution now. Now, if you don't catch 80 balls for a tight end and have 8 touchdowns, you're a bum.
The guys before me, they were putting up 40 catches a year.
Yes.
And that was a good year for them. The running back was the main key. But the game just opened up the field when the offensive coordinators realized that there's a whole field out here to use. And if we just spread it out a little bit and take advantage of the throwing lanes, we can make it easier on the running backs. We can make it easier on the quarterbacks. You came into the league, you were talking about the rule changes. You could get assaulted.
Tell me about it.
On the line of scrimmage. And nobody would say anything. Nobody would say anything. You know, you get posted, you can get your legs taken out from under you. You could, you know, be released inside, the defensive end take a shot at you.
Now they breathe on you, and it's
exactly,
exactly. Like they guys don't even get touched.
Let him go. Let him go.
Yeah, and that's like with you, Ben. I mean, the numbers that you put up back then. You're a Pro Bowler.
I guess I was in the wrong era, huh? You are. No, I think you make a good point about, you know, we always say, who's the best.
Right.
The easy, low-hanging fruit is who's the best tight end, who's the best quarterback. What does that even mean? What are we judging this off? Are we judging off of production? Are we judging off of Super Bowl championships? Are we judging off of Pro Bowls, all pros? What is it? And so you make a great point that it's all about the era.
Hey, look at the numbers now. The evolution of the tight end, the all-time yardage record last year was broken by George Kittle, right?
NFL record-setting touchdown catch. Oh, I love that.
It was broken earlier in the day by Travis Kelce.
And at this position, obviously you can be durable and then not throw you the ball so you don't catch any passes. But what numbers will tell you, like the numbers sitting at this table, is you were able to stay healthy enough and to be able to catch that many passes and take that many hits and keep on getting up.
The guy that just recently retired, Rob Gronkowski. Gates, what makes Gronk so unique?
He got like an unorthodox way of getting open, man. Like it's like like no disrespect to him and nothing, but he got like these big old elbow pads, like these big old huge gloves, and he like, and we play him, and I'm like, y'all can't stop this dude, because it don't look like he's better than what you think. He can run faster than what you think.
Exactly.
So when you watch, he's bigger than what you think. So when you out there, and I'm just like, this dude are like clown gloves, and he's running, and I'm like, he running guys that I know can run. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, he gets up and he start doing this crazy little robot there, and I'm like, he in the end zone again. He just can play. I mean, the guy knows how to play football, and he's gonna make the play that they need every time to catapult them to a win, every single time. And I'm just like, I mean, you have to take your hats off to him if you understand how difficult it is to do that in this league.
I think when people see his, and people see his stats, they're like, okay, he big. But when you see him up close and personal, then you get a sense of just, he's huge.
He's huge.
I'm talking about huge.
Gronkowski to me is Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, he is that big guy, athletic as hell, and it's just too big to stop.
Gronkowski's got a touchdown.
The man is a monster on the field.
While you were playing, was there a tight end that every time you went up against that team, I'm
Todd
sure we'll get into it with these two, Todd Christensen.
Todd Christensen. You were Todd Christensen. Okay, a more athletic Todd Christensen, but Todd would just frustrate our linebackers because he was so unorthodox in his route running. He'd come across middle, step this way, then step back that way and keep going in that direction. Third down, the ball's going to Todd Christensen. Put two people on him, he's still going to get the ball. And of course, Ozzie. Ozzie, the wizard himself. That was our competition.
Sight to throw to Newsome, and touchdown! He got it in the corner of the end zone!
For me, I remember playing, and I used to tell Romo, don't you let Tony show me up. Don't you let him. Hey, I called my brother. Hey, I called my sister. Hey, what did Tony do? He had how many? Man, come on. So, hey, I'm looking. I know what Tony did.
Well, see, we had to wait till the next day, till the paper came out. That's how old I am.
We're instant. We sitting on a bus. We're sitting on the bus leaving. We can already see the stats.
Exactly.
For me, it was a guy who's going to be at this table and is going to be in the hall, Jason Witten. Watching him play, looking at his stats, like, how in the world does this dude get 10 catches for 50 yards? Or it might be 10 for 100 the next week. And seeing how he came in and out of his routes was the key with him.
Throws it in the end zone, Witten caught it. He's a touchdown machine, I tell you.
Just sitting here at the table, too, just as I hear everybody talking, and especially our history in the AFC West. we all played at the same time, and we all got to watch each other. And I know whenever I played against you guys, it was I wanted to do well.
Gonzalez has now tied for the all-time NFL touchdown receiving mark for a tight end.
And when you guys did well, it would make me a little upset. I ain't gonna lie. I remember I think that game, when you came in, you had 214 yards. I don't even know if I shook your hand after the game.
You did.
I probably didn't, because we were so competitive.
That's a shame.
We're so competitive.
That's a shame. I mean, come on, Gabe. I can't even get a handshake. You came in 96 was your 97 was my first year. We always, hey, Tony, how you doing, man? Yeah, go to the Pro Bowl together. We dapping each other up. Now all of a sudden, straight to the locker room.
Well, I remember one time too. I think he came in and he balled out, and I probably the same day I didn't shake his hand. And then I went down there when I I played for the Falcons, and I had a great game against these guys. I was getting off that game. After the game, I'm looking for him. He was gone. He was gone.
Because I just told him, don't let Tony come here catching all these passes and doing all that. They ain't not in my backyard. He come in there. Every time you hear Tony Gonzalez on the reception, I'm on the sideline. You know, ain't no worse feeling. I'm watching the defense to see what they doing. I'm like, okay, look, go double that, man. Hey, double that. You be watching practice, and then the guy at practice catching all the balls that's playing, wearing 88 jerseys. I'm like, double that.
Clark for the touchdown by Ben Watson.
Touchdown, Benjamin Watson.
There's that man again.
I want to be known that I played football, but when it's all said and done, I want it to be said that I spent my time in things that were kind, things that were just, and things that were righteous.
Ben, you've been a finalist for Walter Payton Man of the Year twice. What does that mean to you?
It means everything to me because I truly believe we all have this platform for a reason. Obviously, we want to be great football players. I always said I wanted to be the best football players possible, but you have an opportunity to affect a lot of positive change. For my wife and I, we wanted to leave an impact not only locally, but globally. We've been involved with things like sex trafficking, with things like poverty, with things like the justice system. You know, having an opportunity to be involved with changing people's lives for the better.
That's one of my biggest regrets, not being more actively involved in the community. Because I came in, I had such tunnel vision. It was football 24/7.
And I appreciate you even saying that. Even if you felt like you didn't do as much as you wanted to then, the opportunity still remains now, and I know you are involved a lot now, but what I'm saying is there's a time and a place, there's a season for everything.
Right.
And you can be encouraging people now with that testimony you just gave, but you can also be affecting change now because it's a continuum.
One of the great things about Kansas City was when I first got there, that was the emphasis the team put on it. And every team's different, so I got introduced to that right away.
It's funny y'all talk about helping in the community. Coming from Detroit, inner city, I had more problems in-house with my family. I've actually impacted more people outside of my family than I've done with my own family. So as I got older, I started to try to focus more on the people that I see, like my kids. I'm competing with y'all, but I'm competing, you know, personally too with my own family, and I'm competing with trying to help. It's just a very difficult task and trying to do everything in moderations, but it gets very tough.
One thing that we did years ago, we started what we call QWIFL, the Kellen Winslow Flag Football League. We started that some 35 years ago because it doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter what your gender is. Everybody can play, everybody can enjoy the game of football in a safe environment and have that camaraderie and the benefits of being on a team.
I just want to go around the table and let's talk about our greatest memory ever on that football field. And honestly, I think it can be any time. It doesn't have to be just in the NFL. We'll start with you, Ben. What's been the greatest memory that you've had as a football player?
After the game, there's always an opportunity when guys come together. You see guys shake each other's hands. You see guys embrace. I remember a regular season game in the Superdome. I had my son come out with me after the game. He knelt down with us and prayed with the guys. And I think that those things are what I'm going to really remember. It truly is a brotherhood.
For me, obviously, being drafted, even though it was the 7th round, to get that call. And people are like, well, what about the game? It wasn't so much the Super Bowl, because I know I wasn't the only one that dreamed and watched those games on television as a child and never thought that I would be there in the game, winning the game. But truly, if my teammates only knew that I enjoyed them more than they enjoyed me, I'm a part of this brotherhood. It's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
You have your individual goals and you have obviously your team goals. And I never had a championship, but I had championship moments, if that makes sense. I mean, we won, you know, titles and we celebrated. And I remember in 2004, we had won, and we hadn't won in 10 years. Right. To me, that was like a Super Bowl. We celebrated that like that was a Super Bowl because you have the days of sacrificing, commitment, training. I've been with those guys for years in the trenches, and those become your brothers. Those become your family, and I think that's what you miss the most.
Wow, for me, of course, everybody brings up the Miami game. I hear about the Miami game every day of my life. If I leave the house, somebody mentions.
Did you really pass out?
It wasn't passed out. It was more of. I was nominated
he had a
for
good game.
Best Supporting Role the sports movie, and I didn't win that. I think Denzel.
Best actor in a supporting role.
In a supporting role. In a sports drama. In a sports drama.
The camera was following too, so you know he put some more emphasis on it.
We're gonna reshoot that picture so we can might get you in there.
It's like the Michael Jordan game. Yeah, he had the flu. Yeah, the flu
They show
game.
that picture to me all the time. They're like, this is what we need at tight end.
Exactly.
I'm like, well, shoot, man. He can carry it off.
I've been living off that picture for years.
Oh, man.
They bring it up. I hear about it every day. But so much happened behind the scenes during that game, before the game, during the game, and after the game, which really just points back to you're only as good as the people you play with. Mm-hmm. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. My life has been a fairy tale. Being selected by the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's a Disney movie. I love it, I appreciate it, but sometimes I just don't feel worthy of it.
I had never won a playoff game. Okay, I was in Kansas City 12 years and went to the playoffs 3 times and lost every time. And when I got to Atlanta, played on a really good football team out there. I think it was my 4th year there. So year 16, going into the playoffs again. And we're playing against the Seattle Seahawks, and we were crushing them. We were doing really well, and then all of a sudden, Russell Wilson and Cam Chancellor and all those guys, they started coming back, and they took over the lead with 31 seconds left. We get the ball. We have no timeouts left, and we got to go down and get in field goal range right away. And we went out there, and I remember I caught the ball. Our kicker, Matt Bryant, kicked the field goal. After that, I'm crying. It's the first time I ever won. I never won a Super Bowl. But we celebrated, like you said. I celebrated. I feel like I won a Super Bowl because I was so happy and so excited. That's really what this game is all about. And I love coming here with you guys. And I appreciate you guys for coming. Yeah.